Okay, so we're now logging in again. Okay, so now we have 3 full virtual environments, and the memory is now standing at 7 gigabytes. So at this point on my previous computer, or my previous setup, I'd start seeing major memory issues. So I wasn't able to switch around. If you notice, I can switch very quickly between environments, and there's no lag, there's no paging, there's no page faults going on or anything like that. So let's start this guy up. So alright, so now let's start pushing the envelope a little bit. We'll go to IGN.com, see what the latest video games going on. Oh. So now I'm on IGN.com. So there goes a preview. So now this guy we got a full-blown movie going. Alright. And memory, we're still at 7.2 gigabytes. So we've got some kind of Star Wars, God knows what. That's probably some video game. Well, it looks like the Star Wars video game. Alright, anyway. So now let's switch over to this other virtual environment. And with the video game playing, or the video playing in the background, I'm still have the machine is still snappy. I can switch around between systems nicely, right? Now over here, what I'll do is I'm logged in through my VPN. I have some image processing software that I use, which is somewhat memory intensive. Right, so this is some data that I collected, and well, whatever it is, I'm not going to try to explain what you're looking at here, but basically I've got a rotating view of some medical imaging data right there. I don't know how well you can see it. And so this is it uses some memory. Let's bring up the task manager. So so far it looks like I'm using about like 700 megs, and there's some activity going on. Well, not that much really, but anyway, so I've got this thing configured with 4 cores with 4 CPUs, and it's doing something. All right, and again I can switch around, and not that it's doing that much, but it's doing something. So I can switch between my virtual environments fairly quickly. Let's go back and see how the movie is going. Alright, let's do this again. That's a press. Alright, so immature. So this is Fable. Alright, so now we've got the Fable thing happening. And now let's go back over here. And go to here. And again, I can snip around. It's pretty good. Let's see, I want to go to this guy. Alright, so again, this desktop seems to be responsive. Now let's finally go to my Linux, and I'm going to start up a program. So I'm going to put down the video camera for a second. A data analysis program that I'm going to run, which uses quite a bit of memory. So you can see now, here's my memory bar for my Linux virtual environment. You can see the disk access going, and eventually the memory is actually going to start going up. You can see the memory now starting to rise. So, and so we can run the system monitor in here, so we can see what's going on. So that's the system monitor inside my virtual environment. So we're using some CPU, about what, 50%. That's basically one of the cores. And the memory usage is going up. We're up to 1 gigabyte of memory use. So now let's go back to, and then we go to the Windows. The Windows is still working pretty nicely. And now let's go over to my other guy here. This video is going, and again it's going in full-blown motion. So there's no lag or anything like that. And you can sort of see the CPU crunching going on over here. Again, I'm using probably about a quarter of my CPU power. And the memory is now 8.8 gigabytes. So I'm using 8.8 gigabytes. And at this point on my previous computer where I only had 8 gigabytes, it was complete. The machine would crawl to a halt. It'd be page faulting like crazy. If I switched desktops, it would take a good minute or two just to be able to switch between the desktops. So essentially, I now have my the computer fully running. Here are my plots. Let's run this analysis again. And it's essentially I've got 3 computers running. Well, 4 considering the underlying OS, and it's just pretty seamless. It goes between each one of these environments, and there's no lag, there's no paging, there's none of that. So this is really fantastic. I mean, the way this thing is working, again, just to show you how it's and here we're in the full processing. So having a dual one of these dual quad core Xeon motherboards, yeah, it makes sense for the kind of work that I'm doing, especially when I'm trying to set up these multiple virtual environments. And okay, so that's the demonstration. Virtualization at its best. I want to, like I said, I probably have one more virtual environment going, and for the playing around with new versions of Fedora as they come out. So anyway, so that's it. The system's running great. I'm really happy with the performance. It's a solid machine as far as the CPU goes, the computing power, the memory bandwidth that works. It's just fantastic. So now I'm going to wait till Tuesday for my new motherboard to come in. Hopefully we'll solve the hardware monitoring problems. But I'm not going to video that. We're done with the video. Okay, so anyway, so that is my upgrade. Epic, the epic upgrade of my to my dual Xeon motherboard. All right, hope you guys learned something.